Hey everybody, Sean and Allison here from Spoken Garden. Today we're finally gonna trim and prune our lavender plants.
We have not done it yet. We kind of left them over the fall and winter on purpose. So we're excited to do that today.
Yep.
Yeah.
So stick around, you'll see how we do it.
Yeah, it's finally April and the days are getting longer, the temperature's getting warmer, and things are growing everywhere. So it's so exciting.
So guys, first we're gonna take a look at our 3 lavender plants all put together out by our mailbox, and then we're going to show you a couple other lavenders that are solo in another part of the front yard, and we're going to show you some differences in pruning and trimming between all those.
Yeah, let's get started.
So let's do it. So guys, here we are. We've got all of our lavender plants. Now, if you saw our videos last year at this time, we took some cuttings off these lavender out here for to make our own new plants. And so these are those same lavender plants. You can see they've got last year's flowers and stems on them. We're gonna get all that off.
Kind of a mess. I know.
Yeah, this is a good time. Spring is a great time to actually shape and prune your lavender plants, especially English lavender. And that is because it's got new growth on it already, and we wanna actually get that new growth shaped, and we want to get these old stems, these old flower stems and flowers off the plant so it just looks nice and tidy and clean and ready for the new year. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to prune off all these dead stems and flowers. Then we're going to go deeper with a second pruning to shape these lavender plants and get them nice and tidy looking for the coming year. So some of the tools we're going to use today are our Corona hand pruners if we get in any tight spots, and then we're also going to use our Corona manual head shears, and we'll have links down below for all these if you want to check them out. So guys, what I'm doing now is I'm actually going to have a tarp out here. When we make our cuts and we prune away material, we're just going to take it as we cut it and put it on the tarp. We're going to keep things nice and clean and keep it controlled. We don't want to mess around us the whole time we're working, and we don't want to make a mess on the plant either as we're working, because we can make some cuts later and we'll actually hurt the plant and make it look a little goofy if we don't keep that debris off that we cut. So that's why we're setting this up. All right.
The tarp has seen some love there.
Oh yeah, that tarp
Very well used.
That tarp has seen some action.
Yeah.
Okay guys, so first off, like I was telling you, we're gonna go through, we're gonna make an initial cut to just get away a lot of these old stems. We're not gonna shape yet because we really can't see what we're pruning yet. So we gotta get this off of here. You can go ahead and do one big prune if you want to. That's perfectly acceptable if you can see what you're pruning. For us, we want to take care and make sure we're going to do a really good job because it's the front of our house. So we're going to do 2 phases of pruning. So here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prune with these head shears. I'm actually just going to cut just above, or the best I can, above all of this green growth. And as I cut, I'm just going to kind of go down like that, and as I cut, I'm going to stop, pause, and move those away so then I can actually see what I'm going to be cutting later.
It smells so amazing.
Oh, it does. It smells so good. Wow. Yeah, this goes pretty quick, you guys, and you can see I might be cutting a few of these pieces off, these few green stems off, but not really many of them because I'm trying to be as careful as I can and cut just above them. So guys, you can see I'm coming at this from the top down. I'm starting at the top at certain points, and I'm just making small swaths down the plant as I cut. And that's because with these stems, you can just kind of do that. They kind of stay in place. Some people will say start from the side and go up, and that's perfectly fine too. Kind of depends if you're using manual shears or power shears too. You might have a preference of starting on the sides or the bottom and then shaving your way and cutting your way up. Okay guys, look at all this. Yeah, it's starting to take shape. You can kind of see more of the green, huh? Pretty cool, huh?
Looks awesome.
Yep, Allison and I are pretty excited about this.
We love these plants. Yeah, you guys, if you haven't watched our videos before, we have 3 English lavender plants right here, and we wanted them to grow really big, and they did. They really filled in this whole area here.
Yeah, and really fast, probably really within the first year.
I know.
Not even. So.
We have a lot more lavender around our property. We just love it. It's such an awesome plant. It smells amazing. It looks beautiful. It blooms forever. It's a pollinator attractor, and it's drought tolerant once it's established. So it's like, I mean, it just has so many amazing benefits. All right, how we doing there?
Looking good, I think. We're gonna come around the side, but we're getting really close to just starting to really shave this down and get into that newer growth. Now, the reason we waited to do this until now is because, one, we were worried about some of the frost dates, making sure that was frost-free or not too cold when we make these cuts, because we don't want to stress the plant out too much. The other thing is we wanted to wait for the new growth to start so the plant is stimulated to start growing. We don't want to prune it when it's dormant. I mean, we can, but it's not the best scenario for lavender. You want to make sure that it's got that new growth starting to come up, so when you cut it, it'll respond and it'll keep growing and stay healthy. So guys, you can see we've got the excess stems and flowers off here. We can see a lot more of the green. Now we're gonna shape it. And when we shape this, we're not gonna take it down too far. We're only gonna take it down probably to about here so we don't go too far into the canopy of each one of these lavender plants. Yeah, we're just gonna shave it down just a little bit to get down to that green and then just get that basic shape and we should be good. And guys, for now, I'm gonna continue to use these hedge shears. We'll show you what we're gonna do with the hand pruners in a little bit. There's a couple of cuts we're gonna need to make on this plant from some damage that was done to it a little bit earlier this year, but we'll show you that in a minute. And usually with lavender, you just want to give it, you can either keep it informal, which is wild looking, or you can make it more formal and give it a ball or a ball shape, or maybe even a square shape, whatever you really feel like you want to do. But yeah, and what we're going to do is we're just have a gradual incline here up to these larger and taller parts of these other lavender plants. And it doesn't take much. There's just little cuts that you make to get that shape. You can really hard prune it if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it, because the more you take off of any plant, the more stress you're going to cause, and the more it's going to want to respond to your cuts with either new flesh or growth, or it could be open to more disease and pests. So just be aware of that when you're pruning any plant, but especially your beautiful lavender plants. So how's it looking so far, honey?
Oh, you know I love it. Looks great. I love these plants. These are some of my favorite plants that we have. We'll give you guys an update a little bit later this spring and summer, and once they're in full bloom. And they're so beautiful.
Now you might be saying, wow, Sean, you might be going a little fast there. You sure you're gonna make the right cuts you wanna make? It's like, yeah, for the most part, these will be okay. With pruning, just takes a lot of practice. And I've got lots of practice with these types of hedge shears and power hedge shears. And so if you wanna go slow, go slow. Don't feel like you need to keep up a cadence like this or go real fast, because the last thing you want to do is not be happy with the job when it's done. So if you need to, take your time. And actually, take your time and enjoy the process. Oh man, does that smell good.
It really does.
So you can see almost to the finished product here. This is what it's gonna look like pretty much after we've been done hedging it with our hedge pruners here. It's nice, just kind of moundy looking plant now. It looks great. I like it, honey. Do you like it so far?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's gonna look awesome when it grows and blooms. Grows a little more, I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good.
So guys, when you come out and you do something like this, it might take a couple of times to come out and shape it. Take a step back, look at it, see if there's any high places, some places you might have missed. I can already see there's some places that need a little bit more trimming, like in the center there. Smooth that out, got some outliers and some things going on here. But don't worry if that happens. That's part of the process. And you'll figure out your own process and fine tune it the way you like to do it too. Every gardener likes to do things just a little bit differently than all other gardeners, so it's all good. Since we're at this part of the process, I'm gonna put these hedge trimmers down because what I need to do now is I still need to cut a couple things out, but these are too big. And if I keep using them to go in and get some finer cuts, they're gonna take out more of the plant that I don't want to take out. So I'm gonna use my hand pruners here, my hand shears, and I'm gonna go in and just individually cut some things that I really can't get with my hedge pruners. And this is because these are just either stems or growth that are way too close to other pieces of the plant that I don't want to prune out. So I'm going to do some finer cuts here, some finer pruning by hand, and I'm going to take some of these chunks out of here, and I'm just going to really fine tune the plant to give it that look that we want. So guys, a couple more cuts like this, and then I think we're gonna wrap it up, and we'll go show you the other lavender that we want to prune on.
Okay, you guys, we finished up here. So, you know, we'll probably come back in and cut out some more stems over time, but really this is gonna grow and all the flowers are gonna bloom. You're not even gonna see all those dead stems.
Yep, and we'll come through even like maybe beginning or midsummer. If we can, we'll give it another trim if it needs it. If it needs a little bit more shaping, but right now we're calling it good.
We're gonna head on over into our front yard garden here, and we've got a couple more English lavenders over here we're gonna take care of. So let's go.
Okay. So here we are. This is our other lavender plant, one of the other ones we have out in our front yard. And this one, we'll definitely be able to use these on it because we've got that dense growth. You can see we've got in here, it's looking a little stringy, just a little stretchy maybe, but it's still a very healthy plant. We've got this new growth and little spikes of it here and there. So come to think of it, I don't think we've shaped this specific plant in a while. And so that's why it probably has a little bit of stringiness look to it, kind of a more rangy look to it than the other one did, because it's the same plant, it's an English lavender. So we're gonna probably prune this a little bit harder than the other one, but it's still gonna be great. It's still gonna look beautiful. We've got a lot of new growth and a lot of buds popping. It's just looking really good. So with that, let's get into it here. I'm gonna start off down on the side and then work my way up. So what I'm gonna do on this one is I'm gonna create just a little bit of a swath to then measure all my other cuts against. We'll do like we did before. This one we're probably just gonna do a one phase of cutting because we can really see what we're cutting into here. The other one was so dense, it didn't feel right just doing a one cut. We needed multi phases. So guys, we're in another part of our front yard, and we've got a lavender plant here that we transplanted last year. We've got another one over here, and we transplanted them here because they were underneath the dogwood tree. They were getting basically in the height of the spring, summer, and even in the fall, they were getting almost all shade. And as you know, lavender plants need full sun, a lot of it too. So we transplant them over here. They're getting a little bit more, but we're kind of concerned about this one because it's starting to sucker, it's starting to throw up new growth from the base of the plant, and usually that can mean a couple things, one of which being it's not happy in its current location, and also there might be something wrong with the above, all this biomass up above. It might not want to grow up here anymore. It might want to grow from down below and reestablish itself as a plant. So plants do this for different reasons, and until you really get into the canopy of the plant and look at everything that's going on, you're not going to know really what's happening. Knowing the history of the plant will help you determine this too. But yeah, so with this plant, we're a little concerned about that growth. So with what we're trying to accomplish here today, we want to prune these up. We want to shape these, get them maintained. I'm not going to use these hedge shears because this is a smaller plant. It doesn't need this type of pruning. It needs this type of pruning, more controlled, finer cuts. And so that's how we're going to prune this plant. If you have a plant like this and you want to use the hedge shears, go ahead, that's up to you. But just make sure you know you have a lot more cutting going on, a lot larger blade going on, and if you make one fast cut and you don't see where this whole blade is at, you could literally cut a whole chunk of the plant out. So that's why we're going safety first. We're going to use the smaller guys. I'm just going to do it on a 1 flower stem basis because we want these plants to keep as much of their biomass as possible. And the reason for that right now is because we're just coming up on a year after they were transplanted. They're still going through transplant shock. They're getting reestablished in their new homes in our yard. And so the less biomass we take off of here, the less, definitely the less stressed they're gonna be, and the more they'll be able to photosynthesize and still get better established in their new home.
So you guys might be wondering what this long piece of wood is, the stick here. We were trying to get this to right itself because this plant previously had no sun. It was growing in a really goofy way.
It was stretching towards the light.
Really stretching. So we've got it. It actually is kind of, I think if we remove this, it would probably do the same thing, but it's kind of retraining itself to grow toward the light.
Yep. And that's why we did that. We could take this out and see what happens if we take this up.
Oh.
Now it's, let me just pop this back out.
It actually looks pretty good.
Now, yep, it's staying where we wanted it to, so
we don't
that's
need
good.
that there anymore.
Yeah, that's really good.
So about a year of trying to retrain it, and it has kind of righted itself because these branches were laying over almost flat. Okay, you guys, we got that all done. Sean did a great job, and we hope that was really helpful in, like learning how to prune your own English lavenders. There's a lot of different reasons to prune, so you have to kind of know your goal before you get started.
In this case, we just wanted to prune them to make them look nice and keep them healthy and get them ready for this coming year of growth.
I know, we can't wait to see them grow.
No, they're so beautiful and they smell so good.
We have so many more lavender cuttings that we need to plant, so we're gonna be busy trying to find new homes for all of those, and we added some brand new lavenders to our lavender collection, so we'll be introducing those soon as well.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
So guys, with that, make sure to leave your comments and questions down below for us. We love hearing from you. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you get updates on our latest videos.
Yeah, that's a wrap, you guys. We'll be back tomorrow with our next garden care video, so come on by to see what we're up to and enjoy the rest of your day.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.